Welcome back to Ferocious Education. This is Ed. Today I'm going to be giving an update on my last DD for Seanergy Maritime Holdings Corporations with a ticker of SHIP. Today we've seen a little bit of more red, around 35% more decrease as expected. Now going on to a little bit more into what's probably the next movement. One of the biggest things that we're looking on for this stock is the reverse split. That's the biggest thing, as well as what we're trying to look for is perhaps an entry point, at least for myself. And another thing here is their tweet recently regarding record sales in recent times. So taking a quick look here, we can get to see that the stock is increasingly being oversold at a high level, almost at 100%. So it's sitting at 98.76, which is very equivalent to the opposite of the RSI, which is still considered oversold. Looking at the average directional index, we can see that there's a strong trend towards the red, which we understand from this point of view. MACD on the 1 day still looks like it's hitting in towards the negative, and it probably would bleed. But the thing is, it's with the reverse split, it's more acting on news. So we need to just try to understand better what's the news going on for this. So in terms of averages, the 10 SMA is still above the 30 EMA, which is amazing. So let's try to take a look into the 5 days, 1 hour period here in order to determine what's the next move. So we can see the MACD is almost at a sit still. There's not much change in terms of the histogram. So that's a good sign that it's actually stabilizing and not dropping very rapidly. In terms of the average directional index, it looks okay for here. 10 SMA is below the 30 SMA for this level. Not much else to see here, but one thing to look at is the moving average. So loading up, I'll also be tracking their fleets again at the end of this video. So taking a quick look here, it is below the moving average, so I expect it to shoot back up later on. Of course, in terms of the 50 SMA, it is above the 50. It's still really close to the 50 SMA resting, so we need to really look at this here and see whether it drops down below or still gets back up. Now there's a reverse split happening, and what I compared this to was XSPA, where the reverse split was right to $4, and then it did kind of fix itself during up to I think 564 the next day. So in terms of different news, there's not so many different news here. It's all just basically different things going around. Now there is an earning estimate that was put on the 25th, but that's around priced in. So there is as well one on the 27th, but I believe that this entire thing is priced in until the reverse split. So taking a quick look into their fleet, we can start tracking to see how many of their fleets are actually running at the moment and how many of them are docked and not being used. So taking a quick look, we can see this one is actually docked, so their fellowship one. So that's still, it's still considered in operation. The second one is still in operation, still actually just started its trip. So that's 2 out of 10. And then, well, that's 2 so far. This one is still on operation, so that's the third one. Going into this one here, it's currently not moving. I think it's almost waiting to be docked. So it is considered anchored, so that's still 3 out of 4. Taking a quick look into this one, it's starting on its trip, so that is 4 out of 5. And this one here is still moving on, so that's 5 out of 6. This one is moving. This is 6 out of 7. This one is currently anchored, so that's 1 down, so that's 6 out of 8. But it just recently actually unloaded at 9:58, so it's still in operation, so I wouldn't say much towards that still. Going in towards the next one. This one just recently anchored last night, so that's still fine. And this one here is still in movement. So it looks like all their fleet is busy except one, which is anchored. The other ones remaining anchored has just delivered something, or it's just still under the unloading period. So all in all, this looks amazing. Their fleet looks like it's actually busy at the moment, and especially with their tweet basically saying that they're almost going to see a record week. That's an insane catalyst. So it's just needing the reverse split. After a reverse split, I would love to pick this up right on. Now, what I'm trying to look for an entry point is as close, perhaps at the late extended market or an early pre-market where I can buy it on and then you can see perhaps a little bit of increase in price. And then I would hold it for a very short time before I sell it. And what I'm trying to mention here is something similar to what happened to XSPA, where you can see it started with the $4 and then it did jump 574 literally the next day. So that's the jump I'm trying to find out. That's been my DD. Let me know what you think about it in the comments below. Share, subscribe, and like. Have a good day.